Charles Barkley exposes the truth about Caitlin Clark as Angel Reese fires back. Charles Barkley just did something nobody in women's basketball was brave enough to do. He named the one word behind the firestorm surrounding Caitlin Clark: jealousy. By now, fans can't ignore the chatter swirling around the rookie phenomenon. Ticket prices are through the roof, entire arenas are sold out, and the WNBA is seeing record-breaking ratings. Yet instead of basking in the newfound spotlight, some players are too busy throwing shade at the very person fueling this surge in popularity. This isn't just about an athlete who's making headlines, it's about the future of a league many believed would never catch fire in mainstream media. Barkley has seen it all, from the NBA's glory days to the intense rivalries that captured the hearts of millions. When he looks at Caitlin Clark, he doesn't see just a rookie, he sees a potential gold mine for women's basketball, and that's why he's calling out anyone who dares to undercut her influence. In his eyes, it's not just short-sighted, it's downright self-sabotage. Why is this so important right now? Women's basketball has been craving national attention for years. Suddenly, the moment arrives, the cameras are rolling and the seats are packed, yet the headlines are all about conflict, jealous remarks, and petty feuds. For Barkley, this is more than a missed opportunity. It's a danger sign that the WNBA might be on the verge of fumbling its best chance at lasting mainstream success. He's watched the NBA go through similar transformations, from the Magic Bird rivalry that resurrected the league in the 80s to the Jordan era that followed. Now, with Caitlin Clark, he believes there's a chance for the WNBA to shift from niche to must-watch television if they can stop fighting her and start following her lead. Barkley's comments cut deeper than a soundbite. They're a reality check and a wake-up call. His stance is straightforward: you can't build a house while you're busy tearing down its strongest pillar. And right now, the strongest pillar in the WNBA, perhaps even in women's basketball overall, happens to be a rookie named Caitlin Clark. She's drawing eyes to the league, money to the franchises, and attention to games people barely glanced at in the past. Yet jealousy, envy, or whatever you want to call it, risks overshadowing everything she brings to the table. And maybe the biggest kicker: Barkley isn't known for mincing words or sugarcoating his opinions. When he calls you out, he means it. When he labels an environment as toxic or rife with pettiness, he's not looking to score a few retweets. He's speaking from his decades of experience in professional sports. He's watched teammates fight over salaries, clout, and endorsements. He knows the price of letting star players get driven away or bogged down by negativity. This time, he's sounding the alarm for the WNBA. The question is, will they listen? Barkley's no-filter warning. Charles Barkley has never been shy about telling it like it is, which is exactly why his recent take on Caitlin Clark and the WNBA turned so many heads. Instead of playing it safe, he zeroed in on a truth some fans had whispered about, but no one with real clout had confirmed. Many established players seem resentful of the rookie's immediate stardom. He even used the term petty jealousy, giving voice to a suspicion that's been building in the background. For Barkley, this isn't speculation, it's an observation backed by decades inside the game. He spent time analyzing the OIM's social media jabs, the snubs on the court, and the overheard commentary in press rooms. According to him, the real scandal isn't that Caitlin Clark is overshadowing veteran players, it's that some of these veterans are letting jealousy ruin the WNBA's big moment. After all, the league is finally getting mainstream attention, top highlights on major sports shows, and a surge in ticket sales like never before. Yet the buzz is becoming toxic because certain players can't stand seeing a newcomer capture headlines day after day. Fans might wonder why Barkley is so invested. His stake is larger than just a passing interest in women's basketball. Barkley believes in elevating the entire sport from the NBA to the WNBA because he's seen firsthand how a rising tide lifts all boats. When Michael Jordan took the NBA by storm, other players didn't try to undercut him, they hustled to catch up, elevating the entire league. Barkley's frustration stems from the fact that he sees an eerily similar chance for the WNBA, but the negativity is shifting focus away from the court and into a tabloid-like realm of drama and catfights. So, why focus on negativity? Barkley points to something essential: the WNBA is still building its foundation in the public eye. It can't afford to scare off new fans with off-court feuds and on-court cheap shots. Instead of seeing a teammate in success, certain players apparently see a competitor for endorsements, media coverage, and fans' attention. For Barkley, it's an all-around lose-lose situation. Not only does it fracture locker rooms, but it also drives potential supporters away when they sense the league is more about cliques and grudges than about clean, high-level basketball. What truly stings Barkley is the fact that this negativity has overshadowed vital conversations about the sport itself instead of celebrating the WNBA's newfound momentum, highlighting epic plays, emergent rivalries, and game strategy. Everyone is stuck dissecting side issues. Who said what about Clark, which star is calling her out, and who's refusing to credit her accomplishments. For a commentator who loves basketball, that shift from on-court discussions to off-court gossip is maddening. It saps the joy right out of the game. In Barkley's words, it's like watching a winning lottery ticket get torn up in slow motion. You're finally in a place where the sport has mainstream attention. Why would you sabotage it? That's the core of Barkley's no-filter warning. He's reminding current players that growth in women's basketball benefits everyone's wallet, legacy, and place in sports history. The fact that some are missing this point, choosing instead to dwell on personal envy, is exactly why he's speaking out now and pulling no punches when he does. Drama overshadowing the game. If you read the headlines or scroll through sports social media, it's easy to forget there's actual basketball being played. Suddenly, the main story around the WNBA isn't the stellar performances, the tactical evolutions, or the emerging rivalries between top teams. Instead, fans are caught up in personal spats, subtweets, and one-liners aimed at Caitlin Clark. For Barkley, this obsession with off-court drama is the most dangerous part of the situation at a time when women's basketball could be charting new territory, making front-page news for the right reasons. It's letting a negative narrative take over. Barkley insists that conflict sells, but only to a point. The NBA has thrived off rivalries for decades, turning Magic versus Bird or the Celtics versus Lakers into must-watch matchups, yet those rivalries never devolved into petty insults or personal grudges that overshadowed the entire league. The focus remained on the game, even when personality clashes fueled excitement. Barkley sees a very different scenario unfolding in the WNBA right now. Rather than fueling healthy competition, some of these confrontations have turned downright toxic. One glaring example he points out is how players are seemingly ganging up on Clark with rough fouls and veiled threats during post-game interviews. Part of sports is testing rookies, sure, but Barkley argues there's a line between typical rookie hazing and downright bullying, and that line is being crossed when physicality gets excessive, or when the entire conversation shifts to punishing the newcomer for daring to outshine veterans. It's a recipe for turning off a broader audience that might be curious about the WNBA, but doesn't care to watch a league consumed by negativity. Meanwhile, the real story: how the WNBA is actually gaining momentum in attendance, media coverage, and television ratings gets lost in the shuffle. People tune in expecting to see top-tier basketball and instead find journalists asking players about locker room tensions. Barkley has labeled this phenomenon a complete distraction, suggesting that the league is walking a tightrope between success and chaos. If the WNBA brass and its star players don't pivot the narrative back to the actual game, all these fleeting gains in viewership could evaporate as quickly as they arrived. For every minute spent debating whether Clark is too cocky or if she's being unfairly targeted, you lose a minute of celebrating how women's basketball is finally breaking barriers. Barkley believes the league's leaders should be working overtime to center the conversation on basketball excellence. The more the narrative drifts into behind-the-scenes squabbles, the more it undermines the credibility of a league still fighting for equal footing in a crowded sports market. This is precisely why Barkley's warnings ring so loudly. Having lived through the NBA's ebbs and flows, he knows that momentum can vanish in an instant if you fail to seize it. Women's basketball has never been more visible or more financially promising than it is right now. Allowing petty drama to hijack the storyline is a surefire way to squander that golden opportunity. Barkley may be outspoken, but he's not wrong. The WNBA stands at a crossroads, and it needs to decide whether it wants to be known for remarkable athletic achievements or for dragging down its brightest star. How Caitlin Clark is filling everyone's wallet. Barkley's biggest point is that Caitlin Clark isn't just a personal success story. She's an economic engine boosting everyone around her. The numbers Don't lie, since her arrival, the Indiana Fever's ticket sales have soared, TV ratings for games she's in have peaked, and overall merchandise sales in the WNBA shop have jumped. This isn't just hype, it's actual revenue filtering into the league's ecosystem, from the concession stands to the media rights deals. The Clark effect isn't limited to just her team either. Whenever she travels, other arenas experience a bump in attendance. Opposing teams sell more tickets for the nights they face her, and local media outlets see higher viewership. As Barkley points out, this ripple effect directly translates to higher salaries down the line, more sponsorship interest, and a heightened profile for the league. It's the textbook definition of a rising tide lifting all boats. Yet in Barkley's view, some WNBA veterans are missing the forest for the trees, instead of recognizing that a star like Clark can put more money in their pockets. They're zeroing in on the attention she's getting and how it threatens their status. It's short-sighted to an extreme. Barkley likens it to complaining about a winning lottery ticket, because your neighbor is the one who scratched off the numbers. Everyone in the immediate area benefits when big money enters the scene, just as everyone in the WNBA benefits when marquee names draw viewers and sponsors. Think about the direct results of Clark's stardom. Bigger television contracts are on the horizon, more robust merchandising deals are on the table, and endorsements that might previously have bypassed women's basketball are suddenly interested in a piece of the action. Even lesser-known players can see an uptick in their own brand value when more fans tune into WNBA games for Clark. But stick around after discovering the other talent on display. Barkley's frustration is that none of this is complicated, it's basic economics in pro sports. He also credits Clark with giving a league something it's needed for years, a central figure that mainstream fans can rally around. In the men's game, those figures have been around for decades: Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, each elevating the NBA's profile in their own era. Women's basketball has had stars too, but Clark's immediate impact has been unusually explosive. Barkley can't understand why some players would spend energy trying to humble or sideline her rather than joining forces in marketing the entire sport. In his words, it's like cutting off your nose to spite your face. That's why the phrase petty jealousy keeps surfacing in Barkley's interviews. It's not a personal attack on any one player, it's a condemnation of a mindset that's holding the league back. With so much money and attention on the line, letting envy overshadow practicality isn't just bad for Clark, it's bad for everyone. Barkley's message to those who can't see it is simple: wake up before you drive away the best chance women's basketball has had in years. Rookie treatment for targeted attacks. Barkley also raises the point that what Caitlin Clark is experiencing goes beyond normal rookie treatment. Every sports league tests its newcomers, whether it's the NFL, the NBA, or the WNBA. Rookies get bumped around to see if they can handle professional-level intensity. But when Barkley observes the hits Clark is taking, both verbal and physical, he sees a far more calculated effort to knock her down a peg. He's spoken about how these cheap shots resemble insecurity more than standard on-court competition. According to Barkley, there's a subtle difference between pushing a newcomer to adapt and bullying someone out of jealousy. Clark's been elbowed mid-layup, undercut during rebounds, and occasionally blindsided by comments in post-game media scrums. Barkley's been around basketball long enough